It is the side friend again, and we back for episode 75. Man, we are trucking.
Shit.
We are trucking, right?
We are. We're fucking
On a scale 1 to 10, how much are we trucking right now?
like 17.
Like 17?
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
Yeah,
We
for sure.
17 meters trucking? No, I don't think meters works. I don't know. Whatever. I don't know. Is everybody hype right now? I heard we had the most hype intro on
Rumor has
podcasting.
it. Rumor has it that shit slaps.
We do be slapping them. All right. What's really good, everybody? Your boy is fresh off of a Miami trip right now. And for some reason, I am still sweating from Miami.
God,
What's going on with that, everybody? A little laugh track
humidity.
action.
Do you have some swass going on? Oh my God.
I don't know why I'm still sweating, man. It's that humidity is like locked inside of my skin right now, inside of my pores. I'm just in a sauna still. It's like a sauna out there. I don't think that it's livable unless you just grew up there. I don't think people move to Florida, honestly. They only vacation there.
Yeah, I mean, unless they,
Unless they're
swam
crazy.
there and they, that's where,
I think you gotta. I think there's like a level of crazy.
Climate. Yeah. Well, I mean, Florida is crazy, so.
That's what I'm saying. I think there's a level of crazy you have to be in order to live in Florida. Like the people drive nuts out there. Hands down, the worst state for driving in the U.S. Everybody,
Worse
Florida
than Las Vegas. Worse than Ohio, though. Have you been to Ohio?
I mean, listen, I haven't been to Ohio, but I don't think I need to. Like Florida is on third world country levels with driving. Real
so
talk.
It's like TJ.
It's like TJ almost. All right, so look, all right, TJ is definitely worse. All right, but like as far as the United States go, Florida. But no,
don't they win that for a lot of things? Isn't Florida the worst in a lot of ways? I
guess so. And it's funny because there's no mask mandate no more, right? But people in Florida were wearing masks. They're like,
that's good.
Man.
I'm surprised.
These levels have been escalating out in Florida. That's what I hear, anyways. So I was kind of proud of the Floridians for being responsible in that regard. But as far as the driving goes, Florida, y'all gotta like chill on those roads because your boy was like lightweight, kind of nervous for a second. I'm like, hey.
And you're like a professional driver.
Well, here's the thing. I wasn't even driving. It was I was taking Ubers. I was gonna rent a car, and then I was
that's a good idea.
I'll just go ahead and take some Ubers. But every single one of my Uber drivers scared the fucking. They scared me bad.
Heebie-jeebies?
More than heebie-jeebies. I almost crapped my pants a few times.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, no, real talk. It was pretty nuts. But I did what I had to do, and I got around, and it was a great trip. And if any of you don't know, I was watching a Muay Thai fight, and I was helping out a little bit as well. But those were super fire. That boy Kevin Ross retired after a hard fought, but nothing but knockouts. I was really pleased with the card. I think everybody was. I'm confident everybody was super pleased with the card. I mean, nothing but knockouts. Isn't that what everybody wants to see? Just a bunch of knockouts?
I mean, I don't want to see just like knockouts, like Mike Tyson style, like just walk in the ring and basically knock him out and the fight's over. I like to see a good, banter, a little back and forth. But, ultimately, I want it to end in a knockout? Sometimes. Like, did I want Floyd Mayweather to knock out Logan Paul? Yes.
Right.
But, there's certain people that I want to be knocked out. And I think it's, people like, what's that one guy in MMA, that Colby Covington guy, like super hardcore Trumpy. Like, I wouldn't mind him being knocked out. You know what I mean? Like, and people like him. So I don't know. Well, that's just how I feel about that. Come for me if you must.
It wasn't all like first round knockouts or nothing. I mean, they were going at it. A lot of blood, like 1, 2, 3 rounds, a lot of blood and a lot of striking, a lot of elbows and fists and kicks. It was awesome, man. all
Yeah.
around awesome time. There's something I want to talk about though that I experimented with in Miami on accident actually, and I
On
think that it's
accident.
something that a lot of people are going to want to know about, and why not learn it here first on the SideFriend
It's not like
Chronicles.
one of those accidents where a chick like trips and falls and lands on some guy's dick, right? And then like
No,
okay, good.
Estela. It wasn't one of those moments. No, no, it wasn't.
Do we have a new laugh track?
But what it was is that all right. So I've been really enjoying CBD lately, right?
Oh yes.
And and basically, I wanted to go find some CBD, and I found a spot that sold CBD. So I was like, cool, straight. The guy's store was closing like at the moment that I was walking in. And I said, hey, you got any CBD? He's like, yeah, I'm actually getting ready to close the cash register, but here, I'll ring you up really quick. And he's like, what would you like? I said, some gummies would be great. And he said, okay. So he went, grabbed some gummies. I'm like, cool. I don't even care what flavor. He's like, do you care what flavor or anything? I'm like, nope, they can be sour, anything. I just need some CBD gummies. He said, okay. Went and grabbed a little case, and he came to the register, rung it up. I didn't even think twice, whatever, 25 buckos. I'm like, cool. All right. So I'm walking out of the store and I'm looking at the container of the gummies that he gave me. And I'm like, oh no, this isn't CBD. This is Delta 8. Delta 8 is something that I just learned about. And Delta 8. All right. So what Delta 8 is, all right, it's not CBD. I can say that. So Delta 8 is a tetrahydrocannabinoid, and it's a psychoactive cannabinoid found in the cannabis plant. It is an enantiomer of Delta 9, which most people know as THC. What you smoke?
That was what I was gonna ask you. Yeah.
So it's supposed to be a more like simmered down version of the THC. So if you're somebody who get paranoia, you get anxiety and all of those things, this is supposed to be like a more calm THC, and you should be able to take it, feel some kind of high, but not experience all of the anxieties and paranoias and all the things that some people don't smoke the regular THC for. So they're marketing it to the people who don't like all of those things, but it's legal somehow, and it does get you high. It does, and especially if you take enough of it. Now, here's the crazy part is that you can sell it to, or these people who sell it, they can sell it to 18-year-olds or whoever, and it's being sold at grocery stores, markets. It's being sold at CBD stores. You can sell it to anybody. It's not something that you have to have a license, some kind of medical prescription for. You don't have to buy it
Like
at the dispensary.
salvia.
It's almost like a salvia, right? So anyways, I knew a little bit about it going in. Now, this is a product that has only been on the market for like 6 months now, right? So there's not a lot of research on this product right now, but yet they're selling it, and they've figured out a way to basically get people high and kind of get around every other loop that they are able to get around. And so there's a lot of speculation right now that they're saying that they're extracting it from the cannabis plant. So both plants are in a way different. The cannabis plant, you can get CBD from it, right? Now there's CBD in like the marijuana plant. Now they're kind of different. But it's not as much CBDs. There's more of the THC. They kind of altered it, through growing processes and everything to get more THC, because that's what people want. They want to smoke the THC and get high.
Yeah.
Right. So now the cannabis plant, the hemp plant, that's where you get more of the CBD, right? But they have found from that plant, apparently, that there's this Delta 8 derivative inside of this plant, and they were able to pretty much like extract it and just multiply it by using some kind of technique or whatever. And since it's the cannabis plant and that is legal and not regulated in any kind of way, they're able to sell it everywhere right now. Now, anyway, so I accidentally got Delta 8, right? I'm like, oh no, this isn't what I wanted. He's like, oh man, I just closed down the register for good for the night. So I'm like, I was like, all right, whatever. So I leave, and I'm like, you know what? Why not? I'll try some of it. Let me just see if it's like what they say it is. It'll get you like a little kind of buzz, but
So you had heard about it prior to purchasing it.
One time. I heard about it one
Okay.
time prior to purchasing it, because lately I've been on this whole CBD kick. So
Right.
I've been buying CBD because it helps me like feel calm, makes me have more mental clarity, and it makes me not have like any anxieties and whatnot. So I really enjoy CBD. It helps me relax too and sleep really good. So I've been on that kick lately. But what I didn't know is that there's really not CBD in Delta 8 either. I did most of my research after I took it. Now let me tell you about let me tell you about my experience on Delta 8. And if you've clicked on this podcast right now, this is a podcast about everything, by the way. Oh, and by the way, press the like and subscribe button if you're on YouTube, and review us if you're on Apple, by the way, right?
Yes.
All right, so about this Delta 8 TAC. All right, so I took 4 of them. I took 4 of these gummies, right? Now the dosage said 2. I'm like, whatever. I took 2 and I didn't feel a thing. So I'm like, oh, whatever. Like an hour later, I went ahead and took 2 more. About an hour later from that, I experienced the worst anxiety and paranoia than I have ever, like from any kind of THC ever. I was like tripping out. I even started lightweight, kind of hallucinating, high key.
Oh, you've said that that's the kind of person you are when you smoke weed and shit.
I am, but like I wasn't expecting that on this one, because I was told that this one isn't that kind of
Like
way,
that
right?
kind of, yeah.
Right. And I started experiencing it a lot. And so from that point on, now I was tripping. Like now I'm on the phone with E, like, hey, I'm having crazy anxiety and all that.
Yeah.
Hey, and right quick, everybody, a word from our sponsor.
If you're looking for unique and eye-catching foot jewelry, you'll fall in love with Yoga Bling Boutique. Our unique line of toe rings and anklets are gorgeous conversation pieces that make heads turn. Visit yogablingboutique.com for exotic toe rings, anklets, and socks that caress your lovely feet like a glove. We are on Facebook as Yoga Bling Boutique FB. Also look for us on Instagram as Yoga Bling Boutique. Your feet deserve jewelry from Yoga Bling Boutique. For more information, go to yogablingboutique.com.
Hey. Holla at Yoga Bling Boutique.
Yoga Bling. It's about to be summer.
But anyways, back to the story. So I started looking up on Google and everything after I was having these panic and anxiety attacks. Like, dude, I was like standing up, like working out, like doing push-ups and stuff, because I'm like, I'm tripping right now. I need to do something. I need to get my mind off of this. I even go to the bathroom and start shaving my chest.
Shaving your chest in the bathroom while you were high?
Yes, trimming my beard. I'm just trying to get my mind. I'm like, there's no way I'm tripping like this right now off of something that's not even supposed to bother you like that. And I was like tripping out, man. I was tripping balls. And like, all right, so I turned off the light too at a certain point, and the green fluorescent from the alarm clock inside the hotel room was making the whole room like super green. I was like, I'm low-key hallucinating right now. This is terrible. This is the worst. And I was like, you know what? I gotta look up and see if anybody else experienced this, or is it just me just tripping out, right? So I go on YouTube, I go down a rabbit hole. Comes to find out, a lot of people are experiencing the same side effects from this Delta 8, and there's not a lot of research on it. And so there's also people who speculate that they have synthetically created THC, and they said basically that it came from the cannabis plant, and they're just basically selling synthetic THC. And because it's synthetic, it's making people trip out a lot. There's not a lot of research on it, and they're pretty much everybody taking it is a guinea pig right now for this product that they're gonna make a lot of money off of. It hasn't been regulated, it hasn't been completely certified, and all of those things. So I believe at some point they're probably gonna take it off the shelves, because it's getting people bloated and making them trip out.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. There's, believe it or not, a lot of shit that people take and use supplement wise and all those things aren't actually FDA approved. Like most of the shit people use are not FDA approved. So, but this, I I mean, they might, because I heard that salvia became something that you're not allowed to get anymore. And that one, people were doing weird shit. They were hallucinating like crazy, jumping out of like the window on 2-story buildings and shit, like crazy things. So maybe I think it won't happen until someone gets hurt.
Right.
And someone gets hurt, then they're going to be like, hold on, let's check this shit out. So, I mean, it always takes one person or one incident to like fuck it up for everybody else, you know? So
Right.
I'm thinking that at that point, that's when it might.
So I just looked it up right now. Delta-8 is also legal for minors.
What the fuck?
It's legal for minors. That
In just
blows my
Florida
mind.
or everywhere?
Everywhere. It's not federally prohibited. So
And
if
we do not condone. We're not telling you guys, people who are listening, we are not responsible for you guys going and experimenting this shit. He's just talking about his story. So,
well, I think my story will make people not want to take it because I had a terrible
there's
time.
some crazy people out there who are like, oh, that sounds fun. Let me try. Or they're
No,
getting so
man.
curious.
Like,
I don't know. I just think that our videos and our podcasts aren't for minors, but if one does come across this,
don't try Delta-8.
do not try it.
I think it is dangerous, and I don't think that anybody should be the guinea pig for some new product that is not being regulated in any kind of way, and it's making a grown man like myself trip balls. I was tripping out, and I only took 4 of them. So if people know that only 4 of them could do that, like, what if they wanted to take the whole damn thing? They would
I mean,
they would
that's
trip.
how people learn, right?
And,
even with
and
edibles.
the container had like 30 of them. It has 30 of them in there.
You still have it?
I still have it. Can you show it on the pod right now?
No.
Okay. I only have it because I plan on reviewing it on my review channel.
Oh yeah.
I'm giving it a
You
terrible
definitely
review.
should.
I'm gonna give it the worst review of all time. There's
Yeah.
never gonna be a review worse than the review that I'm gonna give for this product right here. And as you all could see, I'm not about it at all. And you know what's funny is that so I was telling everybody about how bad of a trip that I had because I got no sleep. I had no sleep this night, and it was the night before the event.
That's what CBD gummies do to me just in general. They don't do anything, like I don't feel any different, but when I do finally sleep, it's terrible sleep because I have the weirdest fucking craziest dreams.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
CBD, it like
CBD. I even did some edibles. I did edibles with Renee, and I was sitting there after we took a couple, and I was like, so when is this stuff supposed to kick in? Like, and he's all, you don't fucking feel it? And I was like, no, like, am I supposed to? He's like, dude, he's like, what the fuck? Like, but I also have weird reactions to shit. Like, I'm built different. Like,
well,
I just
whatever
have
the cannabis receptors in your body probably don't receive it the same as other people.
Yeah, it's very
somehow.
weird. I don't have the same experience. I took a couple more, still didn't feel shit. And I was like, okay, well, this was a waste for me. Sick.
Word.
Yeah.
Stella, sex with socks on or sex without socks? Lay it on me.
Oh, I have done it with both. Now,
So what is your choice? What are your
I
preferences?
prefer to take socks off. I prefer to be completely naked when engaging in the sex. But
I have sex with Timberlands on. Timberland boots.
Are you from New York or what?
The true player way,
Are
baby.
you from the Bronx?
I'm not from the Bronx, but I do have sex with Tims on.
I have Tims.
You know the vibes.
I love my Tims. I should try having sex with my Tims on. But I don't like to have any kind of clothing on me, but sometimes if it's like really cold, I'll keep my socks on.
Oh, so you will keep the socks. See, I can't even sleep with socks on, so I'm definitely having sex without socks.
Sometimes I
Yeah.
sleep with socks. A lot of nights I can't because my feet get around female time. Like my hormones like make my feet really, really hot. Like my feet will visibly feel to the touch like they're on fire.
Women
And
hormones are so interesting.
it's so crazy. When I was pregnant, my feet would literally just be so hot.
Swollen? Why do women feet
No,
swell? I hear
mine
that
only.
women feet swell a lot.
Well, when my feet were swollen, they swelled like the last 2 weeks of a pregnancy with my son, not with my daughter at all. But now my feet swell if I travel, like if I'm on airplanes or if I'm driving long distance, or just like if I've been walking a lot during the day, like my feet get really swollen. I have to elevate them. I think I just have really bad circulation.
If I've ever had sex with socks on, it's because like we couldn't wait to get to like situated to have sex. Like it
Right.
was like in the moment and it was about to go down. And I'm like, you know what? I only have time to whip my dick out of the jeans and unbuckle the top and pull the
That
jeans
makes
down.
sense.
That means that I would have sex with like the jeans on. But if I could like situate myself, then I'm definitely getting butt ass.
So that's what I mean. Like I have done it with socks on, like because I was cold. But you know how like initially sometimes it's cold when you start to get to business, but like by the end of it, you know, the blankets are off because you've warmed up and you're like sweating or whatever.
Right.
I do take off my socks at some point. Like I might start with them on, but I don't think I've finished with them on.
Word.
And I think too, what I've been told is that I don't know if this is something you've experienced, but when the partner feels your warm feet on them, when your legs are wrapped around them, like that feels good. Is that true?
Not for me. Like
I've been told this.
Yeah, no, I'm not even a cuddler after
I'm
sex.
not a cuddler, like not before, not after. Like
I think it's funny. Sonia Maya is always like, "You must cuddle after sex. You must."
That's a big no for me, dogs. Don't touch me. I'm not a cuddler. I'm not a cuddler. I have seen her videos where she says that, and I'm just like, oh, actually don't.
You're like, just never touch me.
Just
ever.
stay on your side of the bed.
I want to talk about some conspiracy stuff.
Like what?
But I don't know if I want to bring it up yet.
Okay.
I think we should stay on the fun topics before we get real.
Okay, fun topics. Have you ever done the yawn and reach?
The yawn and reach? What's the yawn and reach?
You're like, and you like put your arm around a girl.
We've spoke about this on the pod before, on a live. Yeah, we've spoke about this on a live.
When did we talk about that?
I don't remember what live it was, but it was during a live. We were talking about the yawn and reach, and people have commented on it too. And I've said,
"Are you sure it was the yawn and reach?"
It was the yawn and reach. I'm definitely a yawn and reacher, you know. But I mean, obviously,
you do that. You don't just like fucking. I'm just gonna put my arm around you.
I do it in a funny way.
You do the.
I would do it in a funny way. You
purposely be corny.
More than likely, more than likely, I wouldn't do the yawn and reach. But if I did, it'd be to be funny. Like it would not be in a like an accidental like. I mean, I think the yawn and reach is supposed to be funny anyways. I don't think it's meant to be like serious.
I've done it to a guy.
Yeah,
I did the yawn and reach, and I put my arm around him, and I like tried to grab his chest, like.
Ooh, you grabbing pectorals out here?
I tried to grab a titty, but.
Are you a pectoral? Looker? I don't know what I'm trying to say.
I like a man with nice shoulders and a broad chest and a broad back. And nice biceps and forearms.
She has a type, everybody.
I do have a type. I'm starting to see, because I was thinking about it and I was looking at my like past history, and I was like, what do they have in common? And I was like, okay, maybe there is something there. I didn't think I had a type, and then I was like, oh, maybe there is a little something.
Starting to be a type.
There's starting to be a trend, but I think that's just because of my location. And that so many people here kind of have similar styles.
A lot of
Does that
people
make
there do
sense?
have similar styles. Yeah.
Because
I've
like
seen
in
from the guys
Oregon,
you
it
talk
wasn't
to
like
that
that,
you do have a type.
right? Like
Mhm.
it's
They definitely
starting
all have
to.
beards.
They all have beards. I need a facial hair. I don't want to fuck with a guy who looks 17, bro. Like, nope.
They
I'm
all
good
have
on that.
beards. Mhm.
I don't like men without facial hair.
Okay.
It just
Oh,
seems.
grow beard, bros.
I'm a very like, okay, so we've talked about this, how I've been like told I'm like masculine in a lot of ways and do shit like a man, like a lot of ways. So I think for me, that it's why I am attracted to men who are like really fucking manly. You know what I mean? Like manlier than me men. And so I can't, you know what I mean? Like I need somebody that is a slightly more manly than me and more dominant than I am.
You're an alpha female. So
Yeah,
you need an alpha
yeah.
male, is what you're
Right.
saying.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's how you simplify what you're saying right now.
Yeah. Well, I
You're an
didn't want to
alpha,
say
so
it
you need
like
an
that,
alpha.
but
No
yeah.
betas.
Yeah, but I hate that whole. I hate when men are self-declared alphas.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's beta shit. And so
Yeah,
I won't
well, I mean,
self-declare myself. I
it's
won't
okay to
like I am.
recognize that you are an alpha.
But there's men out there who are like, oh, this is alpha male, like who like try to like put it out there like that in a way that like they think they're flexing on men who they don't consider alphas because they're not alphas. And I think alpha is more than just like the manly shit. I think that alphas are fucking intelligent too. Like some motherfuckers play chess, and some alphas are like the hands-on, kind of guys.
Right.
And then there's the alphas who like get people to move for them. And I think that that's kind of a fucking flex too. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It just looks different. And I think the ones that like self-proclaim their alpha maleness are typically the ones who just do hands-on shit and like think that that's the one way. Like there's only one way to add to 9 when there's multiple. And I don't know.
I think people who flex way too much are corny as fuck too, by the way.
Oh, for sure.
I can't stand people who all they do is like flex. Like it's cool to flex, but like don't make that like the only thing that you represent is flexing, because then it's just gonna come off as like, all right, now you're doing too much. Like we don't care.
Now we don't believe you.
Now we don't believe you. I think that's part of the thing. Like you don't like a lot of times I feel like the flexing, the overdoing of a flex, like repetitively is just showing a lot of insecurities. Like when somebody all they do is like talk about money all the time, or when all they do is try to show off that they have money all the time, or show off what trips are on their feet, or like all that stuff is like all right, it's cool for a minute, but like once literally that's all you do all the time, I'm like, all right, man, what, like you gotta start showing some personality at some point, like because all the flexing is like it's really actually starting to make you look kind of bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And it gets really, really cringe and corny, and it's like, man, you're literally a one-trick pony right now.
For reals.
Like show some kind of passion in something, please.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't care. Don't do it for me, but do it for yourself.
Not just passion, like personality, bro. Like
personality, please.
Be like relatable, sort of ish. I mean, not necessarily. I don't know. There's just people who are going to relate to some people and people who are going to not relate to some people. So maybe that's the wrong word choice, but like, I don't know. I like to see a humble person every once in a while, by all means, pump yourself up and have confidence and all that shit, but also have some fucking humility. I don't know. And I know that there's like people who would disagree with that. And like, I know specifically one person who might listen to this and completely disagree with that. And that humility and humbleness kind of could be deemed as low self-esteem, but I don't agree with that. I mean, I think that if someone's constantly like, oh, I could be better, or oh, this, and this, and if that was like a constant thing, like, okay, I get that. I can see that perspective. But if you're mostly hyping yourself up, but you're still kind of show like a slight amount of humility, and maybe not in the form of like talking, like minimizing your accomplishments and shit like that, but just, letting people know, oh, this shit was really hard, or, oh, I had to really work, to get this, or I had some, like, though there's other ways to show humility than to just talk down about yourself. You know what I'm saying?
I totally feel you.
Okay.
I totally.
I was
like,
trying to explain it, but like I was also processing and thinking about it at the same time, which I oftentimes do.
We like it when you do that.
And I'll listen back
Right,
on this,
everybody?
like, just fucking say it, just spit it out this way. Like,
It's okay.
I correct myself when I listen
we
to our
are
podcast.
proof that any of you can have a podcast.
Yeah, no, right?
You don't have to be the most knowledgeable,
articulate,
the most articulate person. All you got to do is get on the mic, do it.
I'm really articulate on paper, though. Like,
Me
if
too.
I was writing the shit out, like, I sound like next level. Like, I'm impressed with myself, but just speaking, like,
I found some grammatical errors in some of your captions recently, though. Just saying. I didn't want to point it out, though.
You pointed grammatical errors out in my caption?
I did. And I only do it because you're such a grammatical.
Not all the time. I'm not crazy, like, insane about it. Like, I don't. The only time,
to me, you are.
The only time it bothers me is when it fucks up the way it's read. Like sometimes when you're reading something and the shit's just not like, there's too much. Like, most of the time you can kind of like figure out, oh, I know what they're saying, and that's fine. But when I can't, that's when I'm like, yo, this is a problem for me, But when I think most people don't know where to place commas and break up sentences and shit like that. And so things like that, I'm not that crazy about on social media. But obviously, if I was writing a paper, it'd be.
Speaking of like grammatical errors and things of that sort, the worst is when people can't read through typos or can't read through autocorrect, put in the wrong word. Oh my gosh, that is the absolute worst.
You knew what I was fucking trying to say. Quit playing.
Yeah, like read through that, please.
Yeah, Siri's a hater. We all understand that. I'm not tripping off that in text messages.
When people respond with "huh?" ? Like, I'm not texting you.
You know
back.
the fuck I said.
You know exactly what I was trying to say.
Yeah. For sure.
Don't you mess with me.
Especially if all the words in the text were fine except the one. Like, there was enough context there, bro. Like, you know what the fuck I'm saying. Don't play.
Facts.
It's so annoying.
Facts.
You just wanted to be what? Condescending? You just want to sound smarter than me? Go away.
So, Stella, I watched a documentary. Did I say it right?
No.
What? How do I say that? All right, everybody. This is the funny part about the conversation that led up to what I'm saying right now. She is the grammar police. So go ahead and correct me on how to say documentary right now, please.
It's not documentary. It's just documentary.
It is not documentary. Documentary.
It's not documentary.
There's an R after the T.
Documentary.
All right.
Look, type it into your shit right now.
All right. Am I wrong, everybody?
Documentary.
Let me know in the comments right now if I'm wrong.
He's wrong. Documentary is DOCUMENTARY. There's not rarely. There's not two R's. Documentary. Yes.
I said it right now.
Not documentary.
Documentary. Why do I make up my own words?
Why you do? We've talked about this. We were talking about this with your wife on speakerphone. How you don't be saying some words right, but I know what you're saying, so I let you go. But I have given you shit a couple of times.
Stella, that girl, Stella. Yeah.
Documentary.
Anyways, all right. So I was watching. I was watching a documentary. All right. Did I say it right this time?
Documentary. No,
documentary. Documentary.
There you go.
Documentary. I said it. Oh, everybody. I deserve a round of applause.
I can't say the word I can't say the word that's in all the like when you go to an apartment complex and they have all the things, amenities,
Amenities.
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 I
Amenities. It
can't.
sounded like you were trying to say the word of what's in the ocean. Amenity.
Amenities. Is it?
Or amenities? Manatees. Manatees are those big whale-looking
I
things.
know,
Not
but
whale, but
that's a word that that's a tongue twister for me. I can't say that.
walrus-looking things.
I can't say rear wheel drive. If I try to say that like fast, just in a thing, I can't.
All right,
it's not happening.
All right, I want to say something about the documentary, the documentary that I
This is the most
watched.
illiterate podcast ever. Like, it sounds so stupid.
Oh man, shout out to the most illiterate podcast on the
Junior.
internet right now, the SideFriend Chronicles. Yeah, so
Stupid.
it was called, I'm not even gonna try to say the word right now, FakeFamous. That was the
FakeFamous.
longest lead up to me talking about what I watched.
I know.
So it's called FakeFamous. Did you watch it? Have you
No.
watched it? All right, I believe it's on HBO. I could be wrong. It may not be on HBO. I could be lying right now, but it's out there. It's called FakeFamous. And basically what it's about is this guy, he wanted to interview people and do a casting call to find who they can make famous, who they can create or turn into an Instagram influencer. And basically like showing that there is like a method to the madness and how most of these influencers that are out there are pretty much faking the funk with everything that they're doing right now. And what brought me and led me to even talking about this right now was the whole flexing thing. Because you know, everybody knows that Instagram and most of the social medias is just a highlight reel, right? But in a lot of cases, it's not even a highlight reel. It's just them faking the funk and just flexing, and they're not even really at the Wynwood or the Four Seasons or wherever it is that they're flexing, that they're out at the moment, you know, poolside or, you know, in the botanical gardens or wherever. Like,
and they're
you can
all
literally
photoshopped to all hell.
A lot of them are photoshopped, and a lot of them are really not even at the place, but they're just tagging the place or whatever. And he also mentioned how he's done a lot of research on how many people have 1 million followers on Instagram, and over 40 million people have 1 million followers on Instagram.
What? That many?
Yep, 40 million
That's
people have 1 million
insane.
followers on
You
Instagram.
can buy followers.
You can buy followers, and so basically that's what they were doing in the documentary. They were buying followers for people and pretty much like helping them fake the funk. Like they had like photographers, and they grabbed 3 people. They wanted to see if they can make them famous, turn them into an actual influencer, and you know, just by like taking pictures and faking the funk, and you know, they wanted to see how many sponsors they can get, you know, et cetera, et cetera. Now, one of the people, they said, you know what, I don't want to do this. Like, you're buying me too many followers. This isn't looking real. Like, I'm a real person. Like, nah, I can't do this. Another person also was kind of like in the same boat. You know, it was getting them anxiety. Like, they started worrying about Instagram too much. But another one of the people that was in a documentary, she like pretty much went with the flow, allowed them to buy her Instagram followers, allowed them to help her fake the funk, and the sponsors started rolling in and everything after a while. And they pretty much were able to get her to be Instagram famous just by pretty much making it appear that she was doing all of this very luxurious activities, and, you know, making it seem like she was at all these great places and all that, and making it seem like she was famous by buying her a whole bunch of followers and pretty much just following the script. And they were pretty much just proving that anybody could do it if you make it appear that it's already happening. And so they called the documentary FakeFamous, and I thought it was very, very interesting because, I mean, it's so true. Like, these people, they are fake famous, and anybody could really do it at the end of the day. So when you do see people out there, you know, looking like they're living their best life, you know, let's say they live in San Diego and they can go take pictures at the beach and be like, oh, in Miami, you know, like, it doesn't even matter. They could just say it, and a lot of people will believe that that's what's happening. So you know, in a lot of ways, I just feel like the documentary just pointed out that, like, you know, a lot of people, they just, all they do is flex, and you know, if it's not for a purpose, it's just like, all right, whatever. But I mean, if they are trying to be an influencer, cool. But anybody could do it, people. And I don't know. I found it interesting.
I don't think anybody should be an influencer. I don't think dumb fucks should be influencers.
A lot of you know, a lot of people want to be influencers these days.
I know they do. I've actually had somebody like congratulate me, like, because of the podcast. Like, they're like, "Oh, I'm becoming an influencer," and I was like, "Oh, I'm not an influencer." Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, that's not what I'm trying to be. Like, I'm just podcasting, and I hope my podcast goes somewhere. You know what I mean?
I might influence people a little bit whenever I tell them about a review, though, because
I mean, you would on that level. I just think that a lot of people who want to be influencers shouldn't be influencing anybody, like, because I think that they need better influence, if that makes sense. Like, we don't need the blind leading the blind. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like that's what happens. And it's very annoying to me. And it's like, what happened to striving for other things? You know, like, not everybody who makes a YouTube channel is going to become Mr. Beast or Sniper Wolf. You know what I mean? Like, and there's it is heavily saturated. There is enough for everybody, but not everybody's going to get that level, you know, and they've been doing it for so fucking long. And I think a lot of people see it and they're like, oh, they're doing it and this is what they're doing and I can do this. And it's like, they also were doing it before people were doing it. So they've had a lot more time and there's a lot more originality in it because they were doing it first. And I don't know, and then the whole, like, oh, just look like you have money on Instagram and people will follow you. Like, that's so whack, dude. That's so whack. If I were to influence people, I'd be influencing more minimalism and more, like, less commercial. You know what I mean? Like, that's the kind of influence I would want to have on people if I was influencing.
Enjoy your life type of
influence. Like, for the minimum and
be
not
positive type of influence.
Right, but like, not like, oh, I need to wear Supreme and I need to drive a fucking Lambo and take these outrageously expensive vacations. It's like,
is mad corny.
It's stupid because, like, I took a really bomb ass vacation in another country for less than $1,000, like way less than $1,000, you know? And I feel like that's the smart way. Like, I think that when people, like, what's the first thing you think of when you see somebody driving in an expensive car? I don't think, oh, that person must have money. I think, oh, that person has a lot of debt.
Yeah.
And it's because I think that way, that, like, flexing that way just doesn't work on me. Like, you're not impressing me if you're driving this, that, and the other. You would impress me if you had a shit ton of money but still drove a fucking Toyota. That's impressive to me. And I think that that's, you know, I'm different than a lot of people in that way, because I think a lot of people see that kind of shit and they're like, oh, I got to get, you know, they try to keep up with the Joneses fucking mentality. And to me, I'm like, oh, I'm not trying to be like those people. Fucking tripping.
Keeping up with the Joneses is a good way to end up with no cheese.
Right. It's so stupid.
They call it the rat trap, everybody.
Like, when people buy new cars, I'm all, ooh, poor investment. You know, cars lose half their value once you drive them off the lot.
That's why you gotta buy used cars if you need it. If you want to buy a car, buy a used car.
Buy it in cash if you can.
You want to know what's funny is that the vehicle I recently bought, right? All right, here's a funny thing. I got it for $14K, right? All right, so I'm putting a little information out there right now, but look, I got it for $14K. All right, it was purchased 2 years before that. Because they left the paperwork in the glove box. You want to know how much they bought it for 2 years before that?
How much?
$29K.
Oh, it's stupid. It's so.
You see what I'm saying? Like, that's why buying a vehicle is like the absolute worst investment. Like,
my car is
not even an investment. It's just a liability as soon as you get it.
Yeah.
So you might as well just have a used car.
Right. Like, my car isn't glamorous. It's a 2009 Toyota Corolla. It's
Mhm.
gold. I'm really putting myself out there.
Yeah, I was
I
just
don't
gonna
even
say
have
that.
tinted windows. I don't have automatic windows. I don't have an automatic transmission. It's manual. I have cloth seats. Like there is nothing luxurious or it's clean.
Mhm.
So there's that. But like my car is not like, oh, like we're gonna go and flex kind of a fucking car. Like my car, my flex is I just drove 600 miles on one tank. What's up? Like that's my flex.
I
Like to
fuck
me,
with
I'm
that
all
flex.
40
Saving money
fucking
is a
dollars.
flex.
Let's go. Like
Saving money is a flex, man.
it is a flex, and that's just if I was gonna be an influencer, that's what I would influence.
You want me to tell you what I want to influence at the next party any of you throw? I think you all should get Twister and start playing Twister again.
Let's make Twister a thing again.
Let's make
oh
Twister
my
a
god,
thing
we
again.
should play when you guys come and vlog that shit.
My worry with playing Twister is that like I like pop a Woody at some point or something like that.
Why would you pop a Woody playing Twister?
I don't know.
How does
I haven't
being
played
in
Twister since I
awkward
was a kid.
position
Wouldn't it
make
be
you
weird if
horny?
like a guy's like foot touched mine and I popped a Woody and I discovered like, oh my gosh,
You're in
no, no, I'm just playing.
Yeah, that would be something, wouldn't it?
Oh gosh.
I don't know. My worry is certain yoga positions and like what happens to women when they're in certain yoga positions and then they switch positions.
Like farting?
It's queefing.
Oh snap! You think you queef during Twister?
I don't know. I'm afraid I might.
Or
yoga.
like I wouldn't want to play like Twister with like couples and then like a guy has to like twist his like face like under my wife's cooch. I'm like, wow.
You're like,
all right,
this
two
game
things
is
I'm scared
fucking-
of: the guy's faces by my wife's cooch, and me finding out that I like guys' feet
Men feet.
touching mine.
No, I think maybe 2 Twister boards. One
Kidding,
for the
everybody.
ladies, one for the dudes.
Kidding, everybody.
You know?
I love women, everybody. If you're a woman listening to this right now, holla at your boy Daddy Goods. Just plain.
Don't, because he's got a fierce Latina wife and you don't want none of that smoke.
And she's like super secure with herself, so she doesn't mind when I just talk out of my ass because I do that.
No, yeah. We all know that. She knows that shit. She married you.
She knows I talk out of my ass.
She knows who you are.
I'm the ass speaker.
But she also don't play, so don't do it.
Does not play. While we were in Miami, me and my boys, we had an ongoing joke the whole time. And, like we were calling each other's this is gonna sound terrible, but we were saying BH stands for butthole. And we were saying like stupid things like, hey, how about you let me see your BH, just like joking around. But like, most of their wives were there and they were getting so annoyed with us, and we were like, hey, you want me to hold the door open for you? How about you hold your BH open? Saying silly things like that.
Yeah.
And then it was Monday morning, like real early in the morning on our last night there, right?
Mhm.
And my boy, he gave me a call and he was on his wife's phone, gave me a call, and I could hear her in the background, like, we're going to sleep. Like, get off the phone. Like telling him get off the phone.
Yeah.
And he's like, hold on, I gotta talk to Jimmy. We gotta talk about BHs. And then she's like, "Oh my gosh!" And like we were both like cracking up. Like we were both like cracking up. And then like we just like started talking about like or making all these acronyms for BH. And I was like, it's not HBO no more. It's BHO. And like we were saying silly things like that, and just cracking up. And I was like, hey, would you happen to have BHO Max? Coming to a theater near you, or world premiere on BHO. Mortal buttholes.
You guys are stupid. Oh my god.
I don't know, man.
And y'all were intoxicated, probably, I'm assuming.
We were definitely intoxicated.
Yeah, so it's even more obnoxious.
It was even more obnoxious, yeah. Could you imagine like that kind of scenario? You'd be annoyed too, probably. Like
I mean, after like the 1,000th time, maybe.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
would have
yeah.
laughed a lot. I probably would have laughed for the first like 500 times. Yeah.
Mm.
And then I'd be like, okay, you guys killed it. It's dead. You guys have ran it over and reversed, and you know.
How many times as adults? All right, excuse me. Wrong shit, everybody.
Wrong one.
How many? All right, wrong one, everybody. Do men talk about penises in the way that women talk about vaginals and vulvas? Like
Vaginas and vulvas.
differences, health, sexual health, size.
Okay, I asked
etc.,
this question. Jimmy's
okay.
butchering it right now.
I'm sorry.
I asked if. Okay, so I know personally that me and either my cousins or my girlfriends, we talk about vaginas.
All right.
Okay. If we got something going on, or if we've ever experienced something, or like sex, like, okay, so remember when I posed that whole queefing thing to like we talked about that topic? Well, like the next week I went to Palm Springs and I was there with all the girls and we were talking about my podcast and what I was like, I really
You have a podcast?
Yeah. And we were posing it out there. And I was putting it out there and they're like, oh my God, yes, because we've all experienced this, right? And it's usually we all experienced the same thing where queefing usually happens when you go from doggy style position and you go to switch positions. That's when the air is like comes out, right?
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean, it's just fucking what it is. So, but like women talk about their ginies, right? Their vagines. Do men talk about that shit?
No, we don't. You
guys don't talk about it at all. You don't say like, hey,
what
like,
shape is your dickhead?
Yeah, like, are you circumcised? Are you not circumcised? Like, have you had chlamydia? Have you not had chlamydia? Like,
we say things like that. Yeah,
you talk about STDs.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. But we definitely don't talk about like dick sizes and well, I mean, not straight guys, anyways. I can't really talk on behalf of gay men, but you know, like.
But like, I feel like straight men, oftentimes, I don't think you guys just bring it up to talk about it, but I think that when you're lightweight curious, y'all do dumb shit like play dumb games.
Like pull our
where
dicks
like
out.
you pull it out and like, oh, if you look at it, you're gay, kind of a thing. You know what I mean? Like stupid games like that. Or like, well, you go behind a corner.
I've never played a game like that. Like
I just know guys who like
whip my D out
when drinking or
I've done
whatever.
that around women. I whip my D
pull
out
it out, but they'll stand behind the corner of a wall and like their friend might like look down the hall and be like, oh, you saw it, you're gay, like you licked on my dick, kind of a thing.
Yeah, no, that's sus behavior. Like you might be gay if you do that kind of stuff.
No, I don't think that. But I don't know. I was just curious if men talk about it. So you guys discuss like if you've had experience with STDs.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Okay.
But we don't like really talk about like like the
you don't know if each other curves down or up to the side, circumcised, no circumcised. Any of us
care about the shape of any of the homies' cocks.
Inches. Y'all don't talk about who's got the bigger dick. No.
Well, I mean, a lot of guys do that.
You guys say that you do, right, to each other, like you talk shit.
I mean, not me personally, but I've heard like guys say that. Like I always talk about how small my cock is. I always say my dick's small. That's what I always say. But I mean, I know a lot of guys that are like, "Oh, I got the biggest dick." Like, all right, whatever.
Like, okay, whatever.
You know, like, like it doesn't matter. You know, like I don't want to see it. Like, why are you saying?
We definitely don't talk about it like that. We don't go like, "Oh, I have the biggest pussy." Like we don't talk about it like that. That's not like a flex.
But you guys say you have the best pussy though. Every chick thinks they have the best pussy.
No, I don't think that that's true.
It is.
I don't think every girl thinks that they have the best pussy. I think every girl knows that like that men aren't like the hardest creatures in the world to please. If that makes sense. You're not. You're not the hardest creatures in the world to please. So, I mean, I think that too, it depends on the partners. I think with some men, maybe yours is the best, but like not with every single one of them. Like they're
Yeah, I
not
mean,
all
it
thinking that
just
about
all
you.
depends, like with the chick too.
It's like a lock and key
You're
situation, you know,
yes,
like
totally.
certain shapes and sizes fit
Yes.
different ones. Like,
yeah,
I think that's really what it comes down
because
to.
women have different their vaginas are like, you know, shaped different too, you know, like on the
Yeah.
inside, like it might go a certain direction that works
Right.
really well for your dick, a
Right.
guy's dick, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And vice versa, you know, like it is a lock and key situation. Actually, that's probably the best way to put it. It's a lock and key situation. That's why guys, you should experience as many locks as possible to see which
and
one
women,
works.
you need to find the right key.
You got to find the right key. Exactly.
And don't
So
be
guys,
shy. Get out there and look for that right key.
get out there, be active, be safe, but be active.
Be safe.
If we're gonna influence you in any
Find
kind
your
of
lock
way,
and
be
find
safe.
your key.
Find your lock, ladies. I mean, guys.
Find your key.
And find your key.
Safely.
And if you're ladies who like locks, well, then find the right lock and whatever.
I don't know.
Find the one that's like a magnet to yours.
Yeah, magnet lock. There you go.
Yeah, magnet lock. And then you'll find the right one. And then guys see, guys that like guys, find
your BH. Find your BH lock.
Find the right BH.
Yeah.
There you go, Estela.
You see?
Catching on.
Yeah, I do. I learn fast-ish.
Catching on.
Sometimes.
Good job.
You know what I'm saying?
Needs to slap you in the BH now.
Ooh,
little BH action.
A little BH action. I'm not really that down.
I'm gonna crack up if somebody leaves a comment about BHs.
It depends. It depends on the key. We'll see.
Does it?
Maybe a smaller key could have some BH action.
Word.
No motherfucking monsters.
Well, oh well. Everybody, we fucking appreciate all of the listeners on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, on YouTube, all the people on Instagram, Twitter. We got Twitter, don't we?
We do. We're just not really active on it.
We should.
And we're like not active on Facebook like at all, but we're on there.
We're on there. You can follow us.
You can find us, follow us.
At some point.
Tweet us.
Well, thank you for tuning in to episode 75. We will catch you probably on Friday. Probably get a slide through done. Yeah.
Probably.
All right, y'all. We out.
Clapping.
5 seconds. Hold on. Yeah, I got a big old Z. Oh,
hey! Oh. Did we hit them with that shit again? Did we get him?
Oh, we hit him with it again. We
haven't done it in a while.
We haven't done that in a while. Yeah, why not do it right quick? All right, we out. I kind of just wanted to say an hour. So we're like 1 minute away from an hour. So yeah.
We got 45 seconds.
So just to recap, we spoke about Delta8. We spoke about
sex with socks.
Sex with socks. What else did we talk about?
Grammar.
FakeFamous.
Flexing.
flexing,
Locks and keys,
locks and keys,
BHs.
and BHs. That pretty much sums up the pod today.
Yeah, there you go. If you watch any minutes, watch the last 45 seconds.
The last 45 seconds
wrap
sums
it
up
up.
the whole entire
Yeah,
podcast
that's it.
today.
That's all.
Yeah, and that's all. And Stella's super cool.
And I'm not naked.
She is actually
Not
right now.
naked.
No, she's
I
not.
have
Just kidding. She's got the sporty on. She got the sporty.
Hey, we crossed the hour threshold.
Bye,
Let's go.
everybody. All right, we out.